Tip number 1, shopping from NPCs. For normal, you can shop 2 sock helms and armors from Charsi, 2 sock staffs from Akara, and 3 sock shields from Farah in Act 2. These bases will be used for starter runewords, which I will go over later in the video. Once you're in Nightmare, you can shop Geet and Charsi in Act 1 for some resistance gear. Prioritize lightning, fire, and cold. Nightmare Drognin in Act 2 sells teleport staffs, life tap wands, and lower res wands. I highly recommend purchasing a teleport staff unless you're a sorceress, of course. Getting a life tap wand is a necessity if you're planning on doing Ubers early on. And a lower res wand is great for any elemental build. It's pretty popular for assassins. After you save Anya in Hell, you can purchase Magic Find boots and gloves, 320 bow gloves, 320 Javazon gloves, and 320 martial arts gloves. Tip number 2, early to mid-game runewords. These are basically your best friend at the start of any ladder, and should be easy enough to obtain. You'll want to target farm the Countess for runes in normal and nightmare on players 1 difficulty. It's fairly easy. I'd suggest farming normal Countess for a stealth armor. Leaf is also a great choice for any fire build, preferably Fire Sorc, Fire Druid, or even a Fire Trap Assassin. If you're a melee character, using Steel or Malice are great options until you find something better. A lot of players in normal like to farm the Countess from level 6 to 15, or until they find all the runes that they're looking for. You'll receive Ral or Tal after you save the Barbs in Act 5. Make the rune word Ancient's Pledge. A good level to start farming Nightmare Countess is level 26, and you can stay here until around level 45 if you desire. I'd suggest making lore for any caster, and of course you can collect the runes for a spirit, sword, and shield. Some other great options would be the brand new Season 3 helmet rune words to cover specific resistances. If you find a rune, you could also make hustle in a weapon or an armor. Rhyme and smoke are also great options. Tip number 3, leveling. For the majority of players, getting power leveled in Hell Chaos with your Grush characters won't be an option, so let's just talk about basic leveling for online play. After you save Deckard Cain, you should be around level 6, and I'd start making public Tristram runs. An example of this would be creating Tristram-1. Kill Rakanichu as a party of 8, enter Tristram, and kill all elite packs. Rinse and repeat until level 15. From level 15 to 20, you can run Tal Rasha tomb runs in Act 2, basically clear everything except for the main tomb where Duriel is. Beetle tombs are the best, rinse and repeat. You need to be level 20 to do Ancients in Act 4, which will give you level 21 after completing. Kill normal Bale and then start doing public cow games from level 21 to 25. Make sure you pick up a plain white crystal sword or broadsword and put it in your stash. Using your socket quests on this will give you 4 sockets, as long as you found it in the cow level. This will be very useful when you find the runes to make your first spirit sword. From level 25 to 40, I'd suggest doing public normal bell runs. Hopefully you have a Telesorc. You need to be at least level 40 for Nightmare Ancients. Zoom through Nightmare and do Nightmare bell runs from level 41 to 70. Being level 70 can really set you up for a smooth ride through Hell difficulty, and if you're pushing to level 99, Player 8 Chaos, Bale, and Terrazone runs would be the way to go. Tip number 4, efficiency. You should be playing to your character's strengths. For example, if you started a Lightning Fury Javazon and your plan was to farm Hell Mephisto with her, that's a bad plan. Maybe the Blizzard Sorceress is the character for you instead. She has crazy fast mobility from teleport, and she can moat trick Mephisto safely, as shown on screen. Instead, take the Javazon into Hell Cows. She absolutely shreds in high density areas, and Hell Cows is one of the best areas to target farm high runes. If you get bored in Cows, you could also target farm Eldritch, Shank, and Pendle. They're super uniques that are fairly easy to get to without teleport. And if you have a fair enough of magic find, they can be rewarding. Comment down below with your character build, and I'll be glad to give you some suggestions on where you should farm. If you ever find yourself struggling in Hell difficulty, I'd suggest going back into Nightmare and start farming Nightmare Cows. It's a great place to start farming Skillers, and you could find a lot of small charms, large charms, or grand charms that will cover much needed resistance for Hell. Tip number 5. Trading. Trading can be extremely time-consuming in Diablo 2 unless you use outside trading platforms. Trust me, joining random trade games to scavenge through everyone's junk isn't the way. An alternative would be creating a public game while you magic find. For example, Vexrune for Shaco-1. This way you can be more efficient with trades while you farm, and if no one ever shows up, who knows, maybe you'll get lucky enough to find the item that you're after. Tip number 6. Scammers. Unfortunately, there's toxicity in every game, and Diablo 2 is no different. Let's say a player joins your Vex for Shaco game and wants to trade. Or does he? He puts his Shaco in the trading window for your Vex rune and accepts the trade, but he intentionally doesn't have room in his inventory for the trade to go through. He says something like, "Oops, sorry, let me go make room," while he runs to his stash. Well, He's probably doing the old switcheroo. And that Shaco is now a green cap with just an emerald in it. This is also a popular scam with Tal Rosh's armor. Can you spot the difference? Well, one is indeed Tal Rosh's armor, but the other is just a rattle cage. Make sure you always double check the items before you turn that check mark green.